Hi, it's Lucy here, and hopefully you saw my latest video creating these backgrounds. There's 11 cards in total, and today we're going to concentrate on embellishing them. I also have 2 times $50 voucher prizes to give away in this video, so keep watching. One's a bonus one. I still haven't found that missing piece, but I found a nice lazy solution. So first off, when embellishing lots of cards like this, I like to clear my desk completely except for items I'm probably going to use. And I'm going to be using lots of paper embellishments today, no expensive items. You've probably heard about the rule of thirds, but this isn't a hard and fast rule in my eyes. If you add 3 flowers like this, it doesn't create interest. I know sometimes we don't want to cover up a pretty item, but creating clusters is much more pleasing to the eye. And we can always cut the items in half or 3/4 if a lot of it will be hidden underneath and use it elsewhere anyway. And with this first card background, you may remember I layered up the pieces 3 times before adding them to the card. And now I'm going to choose how I want to add the cluster of flowers. Just in case you're wondering, there's a few cards where I haven't added flowers. I've tried adding this green ephemera piece, but I've noticed it looks out of place, and that's because the background is very angular, and yet this piece has soft rounded edges, which is too big a contrast. So I'll change that up and keep looking for what will suit this card. I'll also do some fussy cutting, so all the paper flowers have no white border. I'll just show more of how I do things on this card, and then I can speed things up on the next cards. A lot of you will have seen some of my videos highlighting different topics like fussy cutting, etc. I use my uniquely creative fussy cutting scissors for most of the cutting. They have a very pointy, sharp end, which is perfect for getting into those small spots, but sometimes I'll also use my craft knife just to get into the really tiny little spots. When it comes to fussy cutting, I'm not too fussed if I accidentally cut anything off, as the card recipient will never know, and I can add them separately, no worries at all. I don't even need to put the item in the same place. If I add some ink to the leaves, any of the white parts aren't so noticeable. And I'm using Distress Oxide inks in Bundle Sage, but of course you're best to use whatever inks you have, and especially whatever inks go with your particular leaves. Now on to creating a bit of dimension so they don't just look like a flat flower on my card. I use my lollipop stick to curl the flower petals under and the leaves around it. I have a tip from one of my subscriber friends that you could also use a Capri Sun straw or any little throwaway drinking straws that come with those children's pouches, drink pouches. Cleaned and dried, of course, and thanks to Rivercat for that great tip. That way you don't need to buy a whole pack of clean lollipop sticks like I did. I'm going to also cut in between some of the petals so I can better curl the petals individually. And now don't be afraid to cut even lace embellishments in half. Just make sure your scissors are quite sharp. I'll cut this pretty one up, as I will definitely use the other half somewhere else instead of waste it underneath a flower. Another easy way to add interest is to add a little height to your embellishments. I like to use recycled packaging and foam tapes and dots. A mixture of both is nice, as the embellies sit at different levels then. If you're going to use thick foam dots or squares, make sure you have other thinner layers too, so they don't sit alone on your card. You want it to all look cohesive, and I hope that makes sense. I have this old sentiment that I printed up a long time ago, and I love using things that have been in my stash forever. You can also print up new sentiments or stamp your sentiment, of course. The thing I love about these heart background dies is that you can use them for just about any occasion, not just Valentine's Day. I felt like it needed another texture, so I found this old wooden flourish that, cut down to size, will be perfect. Do you have any items like this in your stash that you've had for years too? I think I've had it for about 10 years, to be honest. I have a few, so I'm really happy to use some up finally. I'll emboss it white using Versamark ink and white embossing powder, then heat it with a heat gun. And I'll add 2 layers of scrap card under the sentiment to give more sturdiness and height. I'll also add some thin foam tape to each side of the sentiment to level it on the ends. Then I'll glue the lace doily and the chipboard down. What do you think of this card so far? It's coming together so nicely, isn't it? And it hasn't taken long to create. I love how all these cards turn out, and I bet you'll all have a different favourite as they vary quite a lot. Some are simple, no frills, and some have all the trimmings. This seems to be something in between, I would say. I will finish it off by adding some of the little lace flowers, and then some white Nouveau drops will look beautiful with it too. And then this card is finished. This next one is going to be embellishment heavy with all paper embellishments. I know most of you subscriber friends know how much I love paper, so this will come as no surprise to create with just paper. I'll move the items around until I'm happy with the composition. I'm pretty much centering the cluster for this card. You won't see the heart at all. And when I'm adding clusters to cards, I find generally the most appealing to me is to place items in slightly off center, just a smidge to the left-hand side. I'll then find I also need to balance it with a little something in the top right corner as well. But I'm not doing that on this card. This one is going to be just centered, so I won't need anything in the right-hand corner. I should mention I'm creating with papers and embellishments mostly from Uniquely Creative's Boho Soul collection, and I'll have the product links to items I've used in the grey description box below the video. The background dies are from In Love Arts, and these 2 wonderful companies are the ones that are giving $50 vouchers today. I'll be picking the winners shortly. To make the paper feathers look more realistic, I've distressed the edges, then I'm cutting the paper in a curve where you'd expect feather separation. I can then curl the edges easier as there's lots of separate parts to each feather. I'll be sharing quite a few embellishment tips along the way still as well, so I really hope you find this video helpful. You can see how these cards could be for any occasions like anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, engagements, even christenings. I have created a lot of different occasion cards, even a Mother's Day one coming up as well. I've actually made some extra backgrounds as well, so I'll be doing that in another video as well. Coming up to Valentine's Day, I think it's a really cute idea to create with these heart background dies. I think they're so beautiful, and because you can use them for any occasion, but it just seems like the perfect time to create with them right now as well. And I've just received a couple of new heart dies as well, so I'll be creating with them some really cute little Valentine's Day cards and things. So it's a little bit different to what I normally have on my channel, but hopefully you'll like those as well for something different. I've sped this part up as I didn't want to bore you too much, but a lot of people like to see how I go about moving things around and how I come to the conclusions or change things up all the time. This is the main card where I'm showing how I cluster things and really layering them up. The next ones will be quite easy to follow and a lot less embellishments on them, but still just as nice. I also added Nouveau drops and an extra flower layer on the large top flower, and you'll see that at the end. This next card came together really quickly. I have this large ephemera piece from the Uniquely Creative collection I'm using today, and I'll add it with foam tape and cut off the overhanging part. This is also one time I don't mind a white border on embellishments too, and that's because the framed pieces and the sentiment have a white border, so it matches in well with the leaf embellishment, and I'm not going to layer any of the pieces as well. I should say I embossed the heart with a polka dot embossing folder too, just to give more texture. A simple card doesn't have to be basic. I'll finish off the card by adding some Nouveau drops in green. And I think although it's fairly simple, it looks really pretty, doesn't it? It could also be for a male or female. This background is one of my favorites. I love this timber pattern paper with the stunning white background die cut, especially for a wedding card. So I'm creating this for an upcoming wedding. This is all the products I use, and yet the card comes together beautifully, I think. I hope you're enjoying these card designs so far. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you are. These videos take a while to create and edit, and I think you'd be surprised at how little I receive from YouTube for some of my videos. So watching my videos and giving a thumbs up will help, as the more interest my videos receive from my subscribers, the more YouTube promotes them to new crafters. It's just a small way that you can really help my channel. And if you have any crafting friends, please feel free to share my videos with them too. After this card, I'll pick a winner for the Uniquely Creative $50 voucher that was mentioned a couple of weeks ago. What a fantastic prize. I do also have another Uniquely Creative prize going, so there's still time to enter that one from one of my recent videos too. I always use the Uniquely Creative's 12 by 12 kits, but I'm not sure whether I've mentioned that often. They do actually have 6 by 6 card packs as well, so the designs are a little bit smaller, and of course the papers are smaller and ideal if you only want a small amount of the collection. And you can also buy the ephemera packs separately. Here I've just showed how I've added on a leaf that came off, and it's fine to just glue it separately. And then with this little flower, I've just popped all the petals upwards, and that's all I need to do, just to give it a little bit of height and interest as well, so it doesn't sit flat. And how pretty is this card? I really love it. And now to pick the winner of the Uniquely Creative $50 voucher. It's going to be such a nice little shopping spree. And let's see who the winner is. Regina 1964, congratulations. Have a look down in the description box below on how to contact me, or email me at lovebypaper@gmail.com. My next card is using this Me and You die from Uniquely Creative, and it's been out for a while, and I think they only have a few left, so it's for sale at half price, which I think is about 10 Australian dollars. And there I was just showing one way of using it, but I'm deciding to turn it around and create a landscape card instead. And you're probably thinking, but then the heart's on the side, it looks crazy. But once I put the you and me on there, you can't really notice, and I think it looks fine. See what you think. You can add these with double-sided tape or glue, or in this case I'm using a glue pen. And I think that was the best way out of all of them to adhere this together. In between gluing them, I'll add the acrylic block on the top just to make sure that it really sticks to the card well. I somehow have a mark on one of the letters on the white Y part, so I'll add a gold heart on it, and that will cover it up. And so that it doesn't look strange, I'll also add a little gold heart on the M for the me as well, and then this just matches, and I think it actually looks really cute. So sometimes when I'm trying to cover things up, it ends up looking nicer anyway. It makes you think outside the box. So this is a much more clean and simple card with just a big sentiment on it rather than flowers this time. And now onto this card, where I still never found that missing piece of the puzzle. So what I'm going to do, instead of die cutting another piece or trying to fix it any other way, I'm just going to cover it up. No matter where it is on the card, you can just cover it up. I've also come across this old wooden flourish as well, so I'm going to use that too. First I try inking it with Distress Oxide ink in Forest Moss shade, but I feel it's too dark, so while it's slightly damp, I'll add some white embossing powder so I can tone the colour down. This will just leave some green peeking out. And then after heat embossing, I tried inking it, but I didn't like how it looked, so I'll emboss it white again all over. And I love how we can fix mistakes so easily by just adding more. I'll use a combination of foam tape and glue like I often do. And I'm just going to make sure that that missing piece is covered up perfectly. And then I can add some leaves as well to pretty much finish the card. And then I have some exciting news. In Love Arts decided that they would give away another $50 gift voucher to one of my subscribers. Isn't that so sweet? I did draw a winner the other day and they've claimed their prize, and now I'm going to draw another winner. So the lucky person is Tina Doyle. So if you can contact me as well, make sure that you let me know which prize you've won, but that's a $50 In Love Arts voucher. To both winners, you're going to have a great time shopping. Make sure you contact me within a week at lovebypaper@gmail.com. So let's have a look at all the cards that I've created, and there's some more that I didn't show embellishing them on screen, as you get the idea from the ones that I did show. I'd love to hear if you have a favourite, so we could call them 1, 2, and this is 3. And then this next one I've created for a wedding, and luckily enough the bride and groom both start with M, so I've used that you and me, and I've used the M to create a special card for their wedding. I think that was a pretty cool idea, and I hope they love it. So you saw me create this one. This one's card number 5. I feel like they all look different, and yet they're all quite beautiful in their own way. Here's the other one that I made on video as well, where you can't see that the heart is sideways. And I love the gold accents on that one. And then this is another one that I've created. I just made some layers with the florals and again with some of my old flourishes. I also used some of those gorgeous little lace doily flowers as well, and I will have product links to everything that I've used apart from the flourishes in the description below. If you decide to purchase anything through my product links, I may receive a small commission, so I really appreciate that as it really supports my channel. And that was card number 8, and it was fairly easy. You saw that was the U from the die cut, and I just added a couple more sentiments. This one was a little fancier, and I've made a Mother's Day card, and I really love how this turned out. And I did it basically the same as the other cards that you saw early on in the video, where I just kept layering up. And the same with this one, you did actually see me do that. And what do you think of the way the feather looks? I really like how cutting it like that just gives it a little bit more of a feather feel. So that was card number 10, and then this is the last one that you haven't seen either. And this time with the flowers, I layered the large one up twice, and I've flicked the petals upwards instead of downwards, just for a different look, and then added some drops in the middle, in the center of the flowers too. So I hope you've really enjoyed these. Here's some photos of each one so that you can get a closer look if you want to. I hope it's given you some ideas. I hope you've come away learning something. Please let me know. I love hearing from you all. And congratulations again to the winners. Make sure that you contact me within a week at lovebypaper@gmail.com. Anyone can contact me there anytime if you would like to. I still have a couple of prizes to give away as well in my latest videos, so hopefully you'll watch those or you've entered already. I hope you'll let me know what card was your favorite on this video today. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a really great day. Happy crafting, and bye for now.